Hello?
Could you hear me, Coach?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying a year ago today, was it one of the most difficult and personally challenging personal and professional days in your life?
Yeah, obviously, um, tough day. You try and reflect on all that has occurred in that year um, since this time last year, and you think back to the emotions of playing. Coming into there, I was literally in a meeting. I remember exactly the meeting, who was in the office, what we were talking about, in our video intern. Kevin Coble comes in with the news about the accident. So yeah, it was an extremely emotional day of trying to wrap your mind around what happened, what you hear, the reality of it. Um, and so it's just, here we are 1 year removed, and a lot of reflections and conversations about, what Kobe meant to the basketball world in different ways. And, um, we have these shirts that we made in August to just say thank you to Kobe for his contributions to us as athletes and coaches in the NBA. But specifically for us, our players that were around in the summer, we decided to make these shirts as a remembrance on August 24th to celebrate his numbers and the significance of that day with regards to his number. But yeah, it was an emotional day, extremely emotional day.
Thank you.
Sarah Spencer from the AJC.
Lloyd, as far as tonight, will Trey or Cam be available?
I believe Cam is out. Trey is available.
What about Clint or Gallo?
Yeah, they're all available.
Thanks.
Both available, I should say.
Got a question from Juan Murray with the Athletic.
Hi, Lloyd. How are you doing today?
Good.
I wanted to ask about DeAndre Hunter. He has been really a great player this year for this team, especially defensively. And I know a lot of talk has been made about his improvement in general, but what are you specifically seeing from his ability to defend the perimeter, especially defending the three, considering there's not many more players in the league who challenge 3-pointers, and not many who do it with the success that DeAndre's been having so far this season?
I haven't evaluated Dre's individual contest of the 3-point line. I try and evaluate our defense collectively and look at spots where each guy individually can improve. I think Dre specifically is a solid defender. I think he's well positioned often. I think his size, his length, his lateral movement allows him to, make it tough to shoot over, make it tough to go around. And we use him on, most of the time, we use him on the best perimeter player, depending on, how we feel he can guard that guy, or if we can put him on, because of his size and his length, sometimes point guard, sometimes wings. But he's always been a good defender, and I think the experience has allowed him to be a better defender now that he's learning tendencies of the personnel that he's guarding.
Thank you, Lloyd.
You got it.
Alex McQuaid from 11 Alive.
Hey, Coach, just to go back to Kobe for just 1 second, I was just curious over this last year, what do you miss about him just generally being around the game and being around some of your players? John was talking about a film session that he was in with Kobe and just what he brought to in that experience to your players. What do you miss about that?
Yeah, I think it's really John specifically. Not sure if Trey was there, but I know the summer prior, I think I may have been in with the with the USA team, but I think John was invited out to California to work out with Kobe and a bunch of other NBA players. And, he was debating on should he go and what the experience is going to be like. I'm thankful that he went. I'm glad that he went. I think he is as well. And to have that opportunity to spend a couple of days working with Kobe, hearing about how he approached the game mentally, physically, with his workouts was something that I know he won't forget. For me, as an NBA coach, you get to a point where you have to be a professional But as a fan of the game and growing up in California, I was always a Lakers fan. I grew up a Lakers fan. I grew up a Magic Johnson fan. I naturally became a Kobe Bryant fan. That was my team. I feel like I'm releasing information I probably shouldn't be releasing, but the people that know me and know me well know that I've always been a Lakers fan. You grow up in California, you grow up under the Pat Riley Showtime era, you're a Lakers fan. And so I purposely never really spent time trying to get to know Kobe because I was a professional by the time I got to the league, and I wanted to be professional, and I didn't want to be a fan going to meet someone that I looked up to. But I think the biggest thing I'd say for me, what I miss is what I think he was becoming, which is a tremendous role model, a leader, specifically for women's sports, for his daughters, the father figure that he was and is. I think what you miss now is the example of, I guess you can say, of greatness that he was going to become as a father. He was instrumental in his daughter and Gigi specifically, her growth in the Mamba Academy and the team that she played on, and coaching and developing and bringing together women's sport for that youth group. But he was also extremely instrumental in the WNBA and supporting women's sports and being very active in the promotion and empowerment of the women that play the game and play sport and their capabilities. And so, as a father, I think the thing you miss is having the example set by Kobe and what you see. He exemplified being a girl dad, being a father, what it looks like to show love. And I think that's the part of greatness that we were beginning to see that we won't see all the way through.
We've got about 3 more, Coach. We've got one from Maria.
Hi, Coach. Hope you're well. And changing the subject a little bit and going back to basketball, your opponents are on a 7-game winning streak, but now are without their 2 best players. So how does your job as a coach change as far as game planning goes, given that it is not often that we don't see at least one of those guys, Kawhi or Paul George, out there on the floor with that team? So how would that change your plan? Thank you.
Thank you. It's a good question. They're going to have to play a little different. Obviously, you're missing 2 guys that are all NBA capable and having tremendous years for that squad. Both are being out, and really their best 2 defenders and all NBA defenders as well. So it changes a lot of what they have. But they've got a lot of talent. Lou Williams is from Atlanta. He's going to come in and try and have a big game, and they're going to need him to step up. You got guys like Reggie Jackson and Luke Kennard who will be elevated in their roles. And so I think we'll see some more ball movement, less isolation. This is a big isolation team with Paul and Kawhi, and I think we'll see more ball movement, more pick and rolls. So we just have to be solid. This is definitely not a game that's going to be easy. We're going to have to keep them off the glass with Zubac and Ibaka. We're going to have to defend their 3-point shooting. All of their guys are shooting above 40%. And we have to be able to defend and pick and rolls with the guys I mentioned earlier. But, it's tough anytime you're missing your top players, but it's also an opportunity for some other guys to step up.
Jamila Johnson.
Hey, Coach. I know this has been a start to the season that's been up and down, but with a guy or a young guy like Cam Reddish, what is your message to him experiencing those kind of up and down parts of the season?
It's just part of his growth. For me, it's no surprise. As a 21-year-old playing in the second NBA season, adjusting to the game, learning the game, and really, he's 3 years removed from high school. So some of you guys may be surprised. I'm not. It's our job. It's my job to help him grow. He and I just finished watching film in my office, and really just nuances. It isn't about shots. It isn't about makes or misses. It's about nuances. Can you wait a second longer on the pick and roll so you can create some separation? Can you let the screener come to your body as opposed to running to the screener or running to the basketball? Little things that require film watching, that require patience, that require understanding of how the defense is playing. will help him grow, and then he can start working on it. But that's when you're in year 2, those are the things that you start learning. You get some film, you get to evaluate that film, and then you get to try and apply it. And so we're still evaluating and applying what he can do on the court. And that's just part of his growth. There's no panic. He's struggled the last couple games shooting the basketball, but there's so many things that he's capable of doing. We have to help him along the way.
Question from Charles Odom with the AP.
Hey, I also wanted to ask you about Kim. Was the decision on his availability tonight in any way influenced by having back-to-backs? And now what his availability may be tomorrow?
No, I mean, if it's a health-related thing, it's because he can't go. I haven't been in a position where we're weighing one game versus the other. He was testing it out. He's sore from the other night and feels he's not in comfort level to go. And so they're going to still test him and treat him. But he's going to be out tonight.